On November 15th, 2004, Tyna Webb, 77 years old, she is out doing her morning swim. She is in Fishhook Bay, which is over in South Africa. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. She does the backstroke. A gentleman, one of the witnesses that'll end up being up on a cliff, he actually is a spotter for a fishing charter. So he's going to be one of the witnesses that sees it, and he's also one of the people that sees her out swimming daily. So it sounds like he's a spotter for fishermen quite a bit for a fishing charter crew outfit. So Tyna Webb is out doing her morning swim. It gets to almost 7 o'clock in the morning, and now the gentleman that is doing the spotting for the fishing charter, he notices a huge shark. And I mean, they say this shark is ginormous, and it's heading towards Tyna like it's curious. It doesn't sound like it's doing a beeline at her and swimming fast. It's kind of going and curiously checking her out, probably like drone footage that we see. And then it took off like crazy and sped at her. And when it hit, he says that, you know, the water turned red. The shark had hit her, came around and grabbed her and took her under, and then swam off to sea. And all that was left was a red bathing cap. And he had said that he was shouting at her. He's up on a cliff, he's shouting at her, trying to get her attention because the shark was checking her out. She couldn't hear him. So now there's another couple of witnesses that are over on a hill. I don't know that it's the same hill, but they're also trying to scream down to her. They had noticed that the shark had came up and it was checking her out, and it made the run at her. They saw the water turn red, and then they said that after that they saw the shark swimming off to sea, and they assumed the shark had probably still had her in his mouth. So now a third witness to this attack, and this happened pretty close to shore. I believe it's about 65 feet from shore, and he says he was 100 meters, his house is 100 meters from where the blood stain had spread out at that point. So he's pretty close to the water where his house is. And he was watching Tyna out there. Well, what happened is 7 o'clock in the morning, he heard a commotion. And he looks out there and he could see a large shark. So he assumes it's a great white, it's so big. And it's thrashing around with what he thinks is a seal at first. And he quickly notices that it's a woman. And he gets on his phone and calls in for emergency help. And gets off the phone, and then he says after that shark had thrashed with her, doing the thrashing in the water, left her floating in the water and kind of went around in a circle and came back, he said, with a big mouth, and in one bite took her in. So it swallowed her whole after it bit her, and then it swam off. And like I said, all they found of hers was the red bathing cap that she was wearing, and it sounds like she was swallowed whole by the shark. I don't even think that I have this one as swallowed whole in my stats, so I'm going to have to check on that and update it if it's not there. But this gentleman definitely says, from what I see, that she was swallowed whole when it swam off to sea. Now, they launched a search for her, and this search went on for, I believe, 2 days. But they knew where to go to look, because there's a seal colony area where the sharks feed on seals, and that's where they located the shark. And they said this thing, now most of the witnesses said it was 5 meters at least, so you're talking 17 feet plus. This could be a 20-footer. And if it's 20-footer and a monstrous, like they say, there's been 14, 15-footers they say are monstrous as far as the girth. So if you run into a 20-footer that might be pregnant, that's got to be just huge. And that's what I think might be the case here, because the sharks only expand like that and look pregnant when they've gotten done filling themselves on a whale, per se. So the helicopter gets out, they see the shark, and they're above the shark, and they call in and they say, this shark is bigger than our helicopter. This thing just had to be monstrous. You have to wonder if maybe it's deep blue or something that was over there at the time. I do wonder how far these sharks do go and how many different territories they'll check out. They seem to just stick with the same territories by what OSearch and all these other taggers are doing. But over there in Australia, they'll go from Africa over to Australia and back, and over here in the US, they'll go from California 3,000 miles over to Hawaii and back. So it's not unheard of that they would be in another area altogether like that, I don't think. I mean, they're pretty transient, and once they get older I do believe. And I think that's why it's hard to keep, why you don't see deep blues, because once they get old like that, they're going to do whatever they want and go wherever they want. I have nothing to back that up. It's just an assumption in my head. So Tyna Webb ends up being attacked. They never do find anything. I've never seen an update to where they found anything left of her. So as I said in the books, it's done as an attack, a predation, 17-foot great white shark minimum. And that's our story at Tyna Webb. I hope you'll join us in a couple more days for another episode. And until then, if you go into that water, you are much more afraid of those sharks than they are of you.